Hello, everybody. It's Adam with TPM Media, and welcome to February of 2024. Today, we're going to talk to you about a proposal for 90-day visa waivers for people from many countries, including maybe yours. We're also going to talk about some of the biggest stories from the last week, including in which a security guard was murdered at a red light in Pattaya, but luckily they have now found the suspect. First, though, we'd like to thank you guys for tuning in and invite you to like, subscribe, and follow for regular updates right here from Pattaya. Now, let's jump right into our first story, and that is the 90-day visa proposal. So this came up in the last couple of days from the Tourism Authority of Thailand. And I'm going to go back for a minute and remind people that late last year, Thailand and Russia came to an agreement on a 90-day visa waiver. Basically, you arrive in Thailand, you flash your passport, and you're good to stay for 90 days. No going to immigration, no having to go through a lot of steps and problems. You're here for 90 days on a tourist visa. Now, this angered a lot of our readers from different countries. And by the way, the majority of our readers are actually from UK, Scandinavian countries, India, and we have many from America and Australia too. Many of them were angered by this. However, at the time, that proposal was reciprocal. Mainly, Russia is one, or was at that time, one of the very few countries that also allowed Thai tourists the ability to go and visit Russia for 90 days on a tourist visa. So basically, it was tit for tat. They had not given it to any other countries because they really wanted reciprocal agreements. But flash forward to just about 4 days ago, in which Thailand signed an agreement with China for a similar agreement, but for less days. About 30 days, I believe. They're still fleshing that out, in which, again, it's reciprocal. Chinese and Thai tourists can visit each other's country on tourist visas for a period of time with no visa work, no extra paperwork needed. Flash your passport, hello, welcome, and you're in the country. So, over the last weekend or so, what came out from the Thailand Tourism Authority is now they are proposing to the Thai government to allow these 90-day waivers for a variety of countries. They gave some examples, specifically named were the UK, Europe, America, Scandinavian countries. Australia wasn't named, but that doesn't mean it's not on the list, by the way. They stated that they're looking at a number of countries to allow them to come to Thailand for 90 days on a tourist visa. Now, when we released the article on this, our readers were super excited. And, we don't blame them. Many people do like to stay for an extended period of time. Unfortunately, a lot of that was over the winter period, which we're now mainly exiting in many parts of the world. But regardless, they like to stay. Now, yes, you can go to immigration, you can do the paperwork, you can get an extension, et cetera, but that's a lot of time and paperwork. And for some people, they absolutely despise going to immigration. And it's also a lot of work for immigration to process all of these extra visa extensions that they do on a regular basis. So it's a plan that we agree here at the Pattaya News makes sense. But we wanted to stress that it is just a proposal. There's nothing set in stone at this point. It is not guaranteed. It may not happen at all. However, the fact that they are now aggressively talking about it, and they state that they're going to bring it forward to the Thai cabinet, there is some hope. And we'll continue to keep you updated here at the Pattaya News and all of our platforms on whether or not this takes place, because we know many of you would, again, absolutely love if it did. Now, as for our biggest story of the week, a security guard was coming home from where he worked at a bar in Pattaya around 6 o'clock a.m. earlier this week, in which he was tragically shot to death at a red light in North Pattaya. Now, the suspect, who had driven up on his own motorcycle, fired about 4 shots and then sped off, was seen by multiple witnesses and CCTV. Thai police were able to track him down through CCTV to his mother's house, but he had already fled the area. His mother stated that he had had an ongoing feud with the victim, and that due to this, he had decided to kill the victim. Allegedly, about 2 days before, the victim and his friends had assaulted the suspect, and the suspect had allegedly even been attacked by the victim's dog. Regardless, you don't shoot people to death at a red light. After a 24-hour manhunt across Pattaya, the suspect was found hiding in a field, not actually far, ironically, from the Nong Pillay prison area, where she will probably become a lot more familiar with in the near future. and he surrendered. He did admit to the crime. And in Thailand, we mentioned this before, but the reason people admit so quickly to crimes in Thailand as opposed to other countries is because here in Thailand, if you immediately admit to a crime and say, yes, I did it, your sentence is usually cut in half and they're a lot more lenient on you. So that's why you don't see people deny so quickly like you do in Western countries, because there's actually a benefit to saying, yes, I did it. Regardless, he admitted to it. He also stated that he did this, as his mother said, because of the incident that took place between the two a couple of days prior. He remains in police custody at the time and is being charged with murder. Now, moving forward, one of our other biggest stories of the week, which took place just around last weekend, right after we did our last video. This actually made international news, in which a young man, only 33 years old, from England, was base jumping. Basically, when you jump from a parachute, not out of a plane, but out of a large, tall area, such as a condo. It's also done in cliffs and mountains and places like that. Anyways, he decided he would base jump from a condo in Naklua. This is not the first time he had done it. He had done it a number of other times. This was for content for his social media pages, where he recorded videos of his jumps. Unfortunately, this jump failed. His parachute did not come out all the way. Some people with a lot more knowledge than myself, who's never gone parachuting in his entire life, have said that the incident was caused by basically the cord being stuck on something in the gentleman's backpack. Regardless, the video was filmed and it went viral worldwide of the man falling to his death. This man also worked locally at a Thai sky company. We're not going to name the specific company for various reasons, but as a result, it got a lot of publicity. Bottom line is somebody lost his life and his family is mourning his loss. We also understand the concerns for people that what if he had landed on somebody on the ground and that he had snuck into the condo. Next story that we have for the past week is just about 2 days ago. This alarmed a lot of people. On Beach Road, a motorcycle taxi driver was moving a road cone not far from the central Pattaya area when the road cone exploded and people started running everywhere. Luckily, the driver and nobody else was injured. The explosion was from what is commonly called a ping pong bomb, which is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a ping pong ball loaded with various items to make it explode. Now, in some more devious situations, people have loaded these devices with things like nails, etc. This one was just loaded with some basic powder. It exploded, it scared people, but it didn't cause any injuries. These have traditionally been used in Thailand between rival teen gangs that have thrown them at each other in pursuits and in problems, usually in Bangkok. Obviously, though, the fact that they were put in road cones, 2 devices were found in total, were a major concern from Pattaya police. As of press time, they're still trying to hunt down exactly who would do that, especially in a tourism area. Now, our next story that we have for you guys is by the time you watch this, we'll be moving towards Chinese New Year, which will be this upcoming weekend, February 10th. There'll be all sorts of events that will be taking place in Pattaya throughout the weekend. There's also Bike Week in Eastern Pattaya. For Chinese New Year, you'll be able to see events at places like Terminal 21, events at places like Central Pattaya Mall, and of course Walking Street with a variety of acrobats, giant dragons parading through the streets, of course not real ones, and all sorts of colors and decorations. It's a very lively time for Pattaya. For our last thing for today, we like to show you some footage while I'm talking here and thank one of our sponsors, which is just open locally. Now don't run away as soon as you hear a sponsor, because we actually felt that this place is legitimately cool. It's in Nha Jam Tien, located south of Pattaya, not far from Ocean Marina, and it's called Barmony. Barmony is looking to bring the best in live music, along with an elegant atmosphere and fantastic food at affordable prices, as well as an absolutely fantastic cocktail bar. As you can see in the footage, it's a pretty nice place, and it's a great addition to that Nha Jam Tien area for people looking for that sort of atmosphere. It is brand new. It's still in sort of a soft opening period, but we'd like you to check it out and tell us what you think. Have a good one. Take care of yourselves and each other.